So, one of my best memories of John is when I was pregnant and we had just found out that the baby was breech. And so we knew there was a lot of worries about our baby. And we went for breakfast, and I will never forget. I was telling John about what was going on, and he just looked at me and he said, "Are you scared?" And I said, "Yes." And he just talked me through it, and he helped me feel so much better. He just made my world better. And when the baby was born, and our baby John was healthy, I needed some help getting to the pediatrician appointment the first week after John was born, because after surgery I couldn't drive. And it was a busy time. My son was born on Thanksgiving, and John took us to the appointment on the Monday after Thanksgiving. Everybody is busy and full of, bustle at that time of year. And John came into work early so that he could take me to a doctor's appointment. And that sums it up. John was one of my best friends here in Kalamazoo, and I am going to miss him terribly. And Lori, he was a wonderful man. He was just fantastic. You were so lucky to have him as long as you did, and all your memories, and we're thinking of you.
This is for Laurie and all the family. First met John on the internet, believe it or not, when he was looking into buying a little red car. Typical of John, he jumped in feet first and became a part of our community. He was always there to encourage the rest of us in anything that we did, and even took leadership himself. I'll always remember John, his little red car, and the laughs that we had. The biggest laugh I ever had with him was in North Carolina at a big car event where John decided he was going to come along with us. It turns out the cabin that we were staying in, my wife and I, had a mixer in it and a blender. So we went out, decided that we were going to have a margarita night, invited John and a few other close friends round to drink margaritas. Well, plenty of margaritas later and plenty of laughs later. Can't remember what time we actually finished it all up, but it was in the wee hours of the morning. The next day, our heads hurting a little bit more, and our sides hurting with all the laughter. I'll miss him for all the laughter and the friendship. Thanks, John.
I've known John since, for 33 years. We've gone through tornadoes together, children, first marriage, second marriage, working together, great friends. And one of the stories that came to mind when we were sitting here enjoying the stories that everybody was sharing was one day John came into my office and he handed me an envelope. And in that envelope, he said, "I want you to open it." And it was a check for a lot of money. And I said, "What's this for?" It was made out to me. And he said, "Well, you and I have butt heads a lot." And I said, "And you're giving me money for this?" And he was so sincere and said, "Becky, I need somebody like you to work with." And he said some really kind things. And it was so meaningful to me. It was out of the blue. It was unsolicited. And he just recognized some value in me, and it made me feel great. He provided over the years livelihood for my first husband, my child, and myself. He's made truly a great impact on my life. I consider him a brother, and Lori, Jake, and Tess, you're like my extended family. I'm so sorry that John is gone, but believe me, I will be thinking about his spirit and his sense of humor all the time. That's all I got.
Hey, John, I just want to say, initially when you came over to Maestro and you first hired after running a couple companies, I know that our relationship initially was rocky, but over time, man, I want you to know how much I appreciated you and how much you meant to me. And I got to be honest, even today, I miss our partnership. I miss the fact that both of us could get up at 3 a.m. and engage with a project and work together and work all day on it. And I could always trust in you and rely on you for some incredible things. And just the way you served people, the way you served me, you left a legacy in my heart. And I was so fortunate to know you. And you meant so much to me. You meant so much to our team. You meant so much to our clients, John. And just the times where you warned me to to be careful of how much I work and how much I overwork. And I think you warned me because you've been through it yourself. And I just appreciated that sincerity and how much it meant to me, and it meant to my wife and our kids, because you were giving me warnings to be careful. And so, John, I love you. I miss you, man. And you always have a place in my heart, my friend. Thank you for all the contributions you made into my life and the lives of the people around you.
Okay, hi. I'm Keith Klug from Milwaukee, and started working with John back in about 1990, I believe. And one of the things that I saw written in the past couple days was about him being on the cutting edge, walking the cutting edge, or walking the edge, I think it was. And I just want to say that that's exactly what John was all about. Even way back then in 1990, we were doing PowerPoint-like stuff before PowerPoint, 10 years before PowerPoint came out. And that's just a typical thing with John. What I do want to say to Lori and the kids is that even though I didn't work with John a lot in the last 7-8 years or so, we'd keep in touch over the phone. And the thing that he'd always make sure he'd squeeze in our phone conversations is that how proud he was of his kids and his wife. And I just want you guys to know that there was never a time that he would talk to me without telling me about the accomplishments of his family. So that's all I want to say. I love you, John, and I'll miss you very much. Thanks.
Hello, thank you for the opportunity to talk a little bit about my privilege of having known John Sadowski and being part of the wonderful world that he in some ways created. I have known John for over 14 years. He's been, I was his employee. Then I founded a company and he became my customer. I'm a friend, a very good friend. John touched so many lives in so many ways, but all of them in a very positive way. John had this way to believe in people, believe in you 100%. He trusted you in everything, and that trust was one of those things that, made people to follow him and never let him down. One interesting thing about John was that, in my perspective, every time I saw him, every time we got together, there was something that he would impress me about him. And I can't say that of anybody else that I have met in my life. Every single time, there was something he would say, or something that I would see of this job that he would do that I was impressed. I was, I would go home and thinking about it, being so enthusiastic about having talked to John. He was such a special person, one in a billion, I would say. Talking to my friends today, remembering John, how he touched our lives. Everybody agrees that he was a wonderful man, a great man, that he gave us a good example of being good people, being honest, true to our word, to follow up on what we do. John, we will miss you very, very, very much, and we are very proud to have been your friend, having worked with you and having made your family, and thank you for your friendship. Thank you for all the great things that you have done for us. You have been a mentor, you have been a friend, almost a father figure for many of us.
I just wanted to come into the event today. It reminded me of the first time I met John. I started working at Pivotal Communications, freelancing, and was sitting kind of in this middle funky area where you're kind of out in the middle of everything, and it was kind of like an add-on spot. And he sat down next to me, and he was doing some writing and whatnot. And I said, "Oh, I'm Brian. I'm a graphic designer. I'm working here. Are you a writer, or who are you?" And Tamara pulled me aside, and she said, "He's the owner of the company." And it just speaks to, he was that kind of guy that he could relate to anybody, and didn't come off as the CEO or whatnot. And that was just one of my really fond memories, and I wanted to share that.